Okay, so I'm Steve Djuric. I was Vice President for Chemistry and Chemistry Technology at one of the world's major pharmaceutical companies for many years. I was also head of the global chemistry leadership team as well. So I've been involved in pharmaceutical research and development probably for about 30 years now. There's a number of areas that the industry has faced challenges on. I think more in the years gone past. I mean, we struggled with things like pharmacokinetics of compounds. That clearly has improved. I think no question about that. Nowadays, and certainly in my experience, we struggle with identification of validated targets. That's a big one, and then also off-target safety information as well. So if you look at clinical trial failures, a lot of times compounds will go into the clinic and they will not work. Those, I think, are probably two big things, right? Quality of targets, right? Validation of targets, and then evaluation and prediction of off-target side effects of compounds. Well, my experience is that companies will invest a lot of money and resources on target validation preclinically, right? And for novel targets, it's challenging, as I said. Here is, and the actual novel targets that you bring through that are validated, say preclinically, right? Using biologic means or chemical probes, the failure rate is very, very high. I think the industry has put a lot of work into this, say, over the last 10 years, through whether it's genomics-based approaches or what, and it's getting better, but it's a lengthy, time-consuming process with high attrition. I think I've been a leader in the area and really has worked very diligently to identify a number of packages, which include target identification packages, to medicinal chemistry toolbox, and then some more sort of strategies, pharmacokinetics and toxicity prediction packages. But the early space, yeah, sure, for target prediction and validation, one from my understanding of the in silico programs, that they've really taken a very thoughtful approach towards assembling target prediction evaluation platforms, and certainly developing a chemistry toolbox which looks very promising, and it's something that I think companies should evaluate and see whether actually it can provide major impetus and timeline reduction for programs. So, AI has had a lot of press over the last number of years, right? Some good, some bad. But when we looked at this at my old company years ago, we looked at it, it's like, okay, well, I think eventually the future AI must become very important, because as an industry, we're facing huge amounts of data, right? How do you handle data? So whether it's AI or ML or DNA or whatever, handling all this data quickly, it's great, right? I mean, we sort of view, well, in fact, could we actually reduce headcount or manpower and use them to more effective in other means, because we would have computer-assisted drug design using AI or ML to handle lots and lots of data and provide predictions for drug targets or synthesis, or what compounds you make, SAR development. So those things, I think, are beginning to happen. So yeah, I'm a big fan of AI or machine learning approaches towards drug discovery across multiple things, and then it certainly can hopefully be used in the future for patient selection in the clinic as well, but that's not my area of expertise, so I'll leave that to others to comment on that one. But MedChem, excuse me, compound prediction, sure. SAR development, sure. Identification of new targets, sure, would be great. In terms of time frames and timelines, the number of compounds, I think, for this particular project that In Silico made is relatively frugal, and the timelines indeed appear to be very impressive. And I guess if you can do this broadly, and that's great, and a broad selection of targets, I think that's great. And of course, the proof of the pudding will be if they can take this compound that's successful through tox, limit off-target side effects, and get clinical proof of concept. And then you have target validation. So I think it's a very exciting time